The Manchester Monarchs have started their inaugural season off with 13 straight road games. A much-anticipated home opener is tonight for a team and a city looking forward to a successful AHL campaign. On the other side of the ice will be the North Division leading Lowell Lock Monsters, who skate in with the second-best record in the league. The border challenge is set. Lowell versus Manchester next on AT&T 3's Hockey Night in New England.
And the game will be played in a beautiful new arena, Verizon Wireless, in the bustling city of Manchester, New Hampshire. And this will be a centerpiece for the city. Built for $70 million, it will house many activities, prominent among them, of course, hockey. Manchester Monarchs, a brand new team against Lowell. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred Cusick, along with Brad Park. Lowell off to a fast start, Brad.
Well, Lowell's unbelievable start. First 11 games, hadn't been beaten. But now they've got like 11 wins out of the first 16 games. They're number one in their division. As you can see right there, the North and the Eastern Conference. Manchester, with 13 road games, are very, very glad to be home and looking for a victory tonight to move up in those standings.
Well, this is a natural rivalry, Lowell and Manchester.
Absolutely. You don't need a full tank of gas to get from one place to the other. And most of the players who played in Lowell last year are now in Manchester, as the franchise of the Los Angeles Kings moved here. The Carolina Hurricanes have their franchise rights down in Lowell. So these two teams are going to kick it off tonight, and we're going to see some real good entertainment.
And now down to ice level, and Dick Lutz.
Fred and Brad, good evening, everybody. The Manchester Union leader heralds the opening of the new Verizon Wireless Arena. It's showtime, and what a show it is. This building, as Fred mentioned, cost $70 million. It came in on time and on budget. It has 10,000 seats for hockey. It'll seat 10,700 for basketball and concerts, 600 club seats, 34 luxury seats, and a couple of private party rooms along with a private function room. And this building will house the Monarchs as well as concerts throughout the course of the year. Tonight's game will be played before a sold-out crowd. Aerosmith will play to a sold-out crowd tomorrow. Fred and Brad's favorite group, Bare Naked Ladies, will be here on Monday. I'm sure they have their tickets, but it's a great venue, and being from Manchester, the only word I can think of to describe this place right now as I look around at the crowd coming in, this is unbelievable. Back up to Fred and Brad.
Okay, Dick, I'll stay over till Monday. And, you know, this Manchester team is affiliated with the Los Angeles Kings. Bruce Boudreau was the coach of Lowell last year. He's now the coach at Manchester. And he talks about the rough start because of all the road games.
Well, I mean, when in this league, when the home team wins 70% of the games, I mean, it's not the easiest thing. So our guys have been competitive from day one. We've only had, I think, 2 games where when we have lost, it's been by more than 1 goal. So, I mean, they've competed really hard, but it's difficult. I mean, it's you're in hotels, you're doing a lot of traveling, and to say it would be no problem, it would be a lie.
Well, during the course of the year, both teams have got to have some offensive thrust. And we're going to look at the Lowell Lock Monsters. They have a lot of new players, but one guy that's probably got off to a career start is Dane Jackson. Now, he played in Rochester last year, only had 28 points for the whole year, but he did have 104 penalty minutes. Here you can see him scoring down in Springfield in the game we did the last time. But Dane Jackson is 10 points so far in this early campaign, and that's much more ahead of last year. For the Manchester Monarchs, well, there's a guy by the name, I like him right away. His name is Brad, and his last name is Defoe. And he's the guy that the Monarchs are going to be looking for to come around. He's 6'3", 210 pounds. He's from Apple Valley, Minnesota. He has 17 points this year, and he's ahead of last year where he had 51 points for the full year. So we're going to keep an eye on Brad Defoe playing for the Manchester Monarchs.
And now a look at the Lowell Locker Room, one of the great facilities here at this brand new arena. And this, of course, the first event in the arena. We're looking at the jerseys there for Lowell, and we're just about set for...
You know who's singing that?
And now we're back, and the opening ceremonies certainly have been very impressive here for this brand new arena. Rene Rancourt is going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet waving.
An enthusiastic crowd here. The opening ceremonies at this beautiful new arena. And now Dick Lutz.
Thank you, Fred. That certainly added a little bit of Major League flavor to it, didn't it? I'm happy to be joined by my longtime friend Tom King from the Nashua Telegraph. What were your first thoughts walking into the building?
Amazing building. It's just incredible. This state has never seen anything like it before. It's a great venue for this sport. It's a great venue for the concerts that they'll have. It's just it's something that this state has never seen, Dick. It's incredible to even think that it's here.
Jeff Eisenberg, the president of the Lock Monsters, says that a lot of the AHL teams have great AHL buildings. This is more like an NHL building.
Yeah, this is definitely like an NHL building, and it's run pretty much like an NHL building, too. It's a great venue, a lot of seats, a lot of suites. Just a fantastic place for season ticket holders and for the people who want to come in off the street. I mean, sold out tonight. I imagine they're going to sell out quite a few more games, probably more than I expected.
Now, you're in Nashua. You're between Lowell. You're between Manchester. How are you going to play that?
Well, play it probably right down the middle like we always do, you know. I mean, I talked to some people in the area who are coming up here. I talked to some people who are still loyal to Lowell. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be a great rivalry between the two franchises, and the league did a great thing to have them play as often as they are.
And the caliber of play in the American Hockey League, if you've never been to an AHL game, it's a lot better than most people think.
It really is, and, you know, it's improved a lot. You know, the image of Slapshot really is no more with this league. It's a finesse league. Lowell's proving that with the year that they're having right now. It's a speed league, and it's a great venue, and the combination with the IHL teams has made it a nationwide league.
Tom King of the Nashua Telegraph, our guest. Let's send it back upstairs to Fred and Brad.
Okay, thank you, Dick. And Brad Park and I have seen a few arenas around North America. This ranks with any of them. It seats 10,000, not the 20 that we have in the National Hockey League. But everything else is the same.
It's a very comfortable building. You know, you look at the lower bowl and you know, the access the closest to the ice, and the balcony is not that much farther away. I mean, they had to have some suites up there. It's beautifully designed. I like the way it is. They've got you know, I have a son that has cerebral palsy in a wheelchair. They have right down by Zamboni. They have a great access for them. Well, let's take a look at the goaltenders tonight. Who's going to be matching up there? We'll look at. You can see Travis Scott will be in the net for the Manchester Monarchs, and Tyler Moss will be starting for the Lowell Lock Monsters. And Travis Scott won his last game, so he's getting another get-go at it and looking to have a big game tonight in his home opener.
And we can't go any farther without mentioning congratulations on your new position, a scout for the New York Rangers, Brad Park. And very deserved, Brad, but boy, you are really working. What about your frequent flyer miles?
Well, I figure at the end of the year I'll have enough frequent flyer miles to go on a vacation and enough Marriott Awards points to stay wherever I want. And I think my wife's happy about that. I tell people I'm only doing it to save my marriage. But, you work real hard in the winter. You see a lot of games. There's a lot of talent out there. There's 27 teams in the American Hockey League. There's 30 teams in the National Hockey League. So I'm looking at the pro players, and a lot of these guys are right on that edge where, they get their confidence and improve their skills. They can make that jump, and that's exactly why they play so hard down here.
We'll be looking at some tonight, and along the way you can point that out as you do in your analysis, which I find superb. And congratulations to Glenn Sader, the general manager of the New York Rangers, for bringing Brad back to Broadway. Well, except you're never in Broadway. You're everywhere else.
That's true. That's true. And I work with some great people. I'm very professional. The game of hockey has really changed. You're microscopically looking at players. Even in the American Hockey League, any night you could have anywhere from 3 to 6 or 8 NHL scouts watching a hockey game. I know that Al Coates, the general manager of the Hartford Wolfpack, he drove up just to watch this game tonight because these two teams are in their division. So as much as these guys are auditioning for the people in their organization, they're also auditioning for people from other organizations, and that's each and every night.
Well, we have the opening ceremonies about to conclude, and we'll have the action for you. The referee is Dave Hansen, and the linesmen Joe Ross and Joe Andrew. Capacity crowd here, sold out very quickly. There we have the officials getting ready, and ought to be worth a half a goal or a goal, this hometown enthusiasm for Manchester.
Now, I talked to Bruce Boudreau about that, and he was very enthused about being here and having his players play their first home game in such a full house. And this building sold out in 2 hours, and he was worried that they might be nervous, but he wanted them to be competitive. Regardless of how the game turns out, they have to be competitive game in and game out. And we saw him last year, and what a magnificent job that he did when they were the Lowell Lock Monsters last year. But they've taken a little bit of the purple from those uniforms, as you can see on our left-hand side. On the right-hand side, because of the affiliation with the Carolina Hurricanes, the Lowell Lock Monsters have changed to a predominantly red away jersey. And they're going to do a little face-off. And you can see that's number 9, Brian Ritchie, for the Lowell Lock Monsters, and number 36, Dane Jackson, taking the face-off. But the Lock Monsters have changed their uniforms to a more red Carolina Hurricane ensemble.
Getting back to Bruce Boudreau, their team is now affiliated with the Los Angeles Kings here in Manchester, New Hampshire. And they signed him to an additional contract, I think about 3 more years, because they're impressed with the work he did last year with the Lowell Lock Monsters, bringing along the young players and facing adversity when Mike Milbury took almost half his team away, and he had to go out there without almost a complete roster, but he did the job. Bruce Boudreau, the coach.
And he did that the last 2 years, and that was an exciting part, because we did some of those games the last couple of years, Fred. And one of the things that he's not facing this year, everybody on that bench is affiliated with the Los Angeles Kings. He didn't have to, when you have two teams that kind of share a American Hockey League team, and you have one coach from the Los Angeles Kings last year. You had another coach, Steve Sterling, who was representing the Islanders. Things just aren't as smooth. He says things are smoother this year because everybody's working for the same organization and for the same goal.
Steve Kelly wins the faceoff for Manchester. Is that significant? It's back to Seeley and now to Auer, the veteran defenseman. Number 2 for Manchester in the white jerseys. Kelly is at center. Becker, former UNH star, is on the wing with Bednash at the right wing side. That's the starting lineup for the Manchester Monarchs. Underway, trying to work it out of their zone. Seeley can't do it. McDonald keeps it in. And Lowell trying the shot. Svoboda, a drive in and a save off the bat for the goaltender there, Scott. Scott did a nice job for Bruce Boudreau, Lowell last year. Becker coming up. The play would have been offside, but finally Lowell McDonald is able to move it out. Corbo with it now for Manchester, driving it in. Around the boards, Bednash going for it. He started at right wing. Corbo trying to move it toward the net. Healy, a shot blocked. Healy has scored 2 goals in the last game. Another long drive, breaks in from the point. Corbo gets the first goal for Manchester, and they lead 1-0.
Well, a great start to a new building here in Manchester. Joe Corbo unleashing the shot from the point. Tyler Moss, the goaltender for the Lowell Lock Monsters, having a little problem with this. As the puck comes towards the net, it's going to go back out. This is the play down low. Now right here, it goes out to George Corvo. Right here, he winds up. There's the shot. It may have been deflected by the defenseman and changed a little direction on Tyler Moss, but a good lead for the Manchester Monarchs.
One you'd almost say Tyler Moss should have stopped, but Joe Corvo gets the goal, and he was an outstanding young defenseman for Lowell last year. Bruce Boudreau very high on his talent and ability. Keeler trying to work it out now with Ritchie. Ritchie moving deep into the Manchester zone, can't keep control, and a breakout here for Manchester. Corbo had come up on the attack there. The puck is in deep to Thomas of Manchester, trying to move it in front. Can't do it, and it's jammed up by Moss.
Well, we're going to get another look at that, the first goal by the Monarchs, and this is just a very simple slapper. Now watch to see if the defenseman right there, he's going to move into your screen right there. It does kind of go off the shaft of his stick, and that was Nikos Chelios. That's a nice goal for George Corvo, a good start.
And the face-off won for Lowell. Trying to move it out. They slide it down deep. Back for it is Auer. Auer pressed by Defoe. Defoe can't get possession. A drive from the point by Goradska is blocked, and a breakout for Manchester. Almost a 3-on-2. It's off for Smithson. Smithson trying to drop it in front for Manchester. Can't do it, and Lowell takes over. Manchester leading 1-0. A hard hit by Miller, and that was on Godradska. Puck deep, maybe icing. It is. The signal from Moss and from the linesman. 17:39 left in the first period. Manchester in front, 1-0 over Lowell.
Now there's the coach of the Lowell Lock Monsters, Ron Smith, and actually Bruce Boudreau thinks he has a little bit of advantage, and one of the things is that he's got about 15 guys that played for Ron Smith last year, and they know the system very well, and they're very more cohesive.
Drive-in by Harmer is wide for Lowell. Manchester takes over possession, and the breakout by the veteran Jackson. Jackson slides it down near Moss. Harmer back to cover for Lowell. Lowell trying to move it out quickly to Ritchie. It doesn't work. Lysak is at left wing with Ritchie at center. Puck goes deep, back for it. Corvo, he has the lone goal of the game. I believe it will be unassisted. In deep, Kirka trying to move it in front, can't do it. Puck kept in by Lowell, back to the point. Chelios a drive. It's blocked. It's intercepted in front, never reached the net. And Lowell looking for their second shot on net, really, in the first period. 1-0 Manchester leads.
Well, the goaltender, Travis Scott, not getting a lot of action here in the early going. At the other end, Tyler Moss seeing that goal go between his legs and a short-sided shot on him. And they're giving Corvo an unassisted goal, but I believe that will be changed.
Puck is down, Lowell in possession. It's with it. Puck out to center ice. McDonald now moving it up over the line, trying to set the play in front, can't do it. Puck is out. McDonald covered on Kelly. Kelly gets it away here for a drive and a save. Just a beauty there, a hard drive by Aldous. Called up. Puck kept in. Another drive from the right side by Bednich, and it's blocked. Around the board, Lowell trying to move it up. Svoboda is checked on the play. It's in on Moss again. Lowell hemmed in by Manchester. They're fired up. Finally, the puck is out to center ice. The lead from the right side for McNeil is too far ahead, and Auer takes over for Manchester. Manchester in front, 1-0 in the first period. Auer, good offensive defenseman. Puck in the Lowell end around the boards. Harima can't contain it at the left point. It is kept in by Chartrand. Chartrand drives, down stopped away in front. Batted up into center ice. A lead here for Zigomanis. He can't get it. Pass to Chartrand, ruled offside. And 15:47 left in the first. The Monarchs lead 1-0.
Well, in case you didn't know, AT&T 3 has the most comprehensive look at high school sports in the region. It's Dunkin' Donuts Hometown Sports. So join Philip Burton as he brings you all the scores, the highlights, features, and much, much more. That's Dunkin' Donuts Hometown Sports daily at 7 p.m. right here on AT&T 3.
Puck down back in the Manchester zone. Not much of an attack by this Lowell team, and they have featured it to gain second best record in the American Hockey League to this point. But Manchester has contained them and put on a pretty good attack of their own. Corvo slides it up, goes deep all the way down. Moss trying to move it away. Played checked by deep, forechecking by Smithson of Manchester. Now moving in is Miller. This more or less a checking line with Schmidt at left wing. They're digging for it in the corner. The three in the Lowell zone fighting for it. DeFaw trying to get it. And Smithson. A heavy battle along the boards. Puck finally pried loose, goes to Harima of Lowell. Trying to move it away. Now it deflects behind the net to Vedradska. Gets it out center ice. A break here for Lowell. It's off for Zigomanis. Zigomanis misfires. Trying to put a shot or a pass in front of the net. But the stop puck stays deep for Chelios. Now moving after it. It is Felsner as the lines change on the fly. Lowell trying to set a pass in front. Zigomanis did, but it bounces out to Miller of Manchester, and a break for Chartrand. Chartrand's shot is blocked. Way to center ice it comes to Felsner. Felsner firing down for Keeler. Keeler and Ritchie going after it. Trying to attack. The puck kept in the zone by Lowell, now taken over by Hauer. Hauer moves it up in the center ice. It is stopped there by Chelios. Chelios' long pass up is taken over by Aldous, up from the East Coast Hockey League. In the center ice, puck floats back for Ritchie. Ritchie picks up speed, stick handle, center ice. He's broken up on the play. Right back comes Jackson. Shot, save Moss, rebound, save Moss. Oh, a spectacular on the rebound, and a penalty coming up as Moss made two beauties on Jackson.
Now Dane Jackson doing the right thing.
1-0 Manchester back in a moment. Power play here for Manchester, the first of the game. Harmer is out for tripping. And back for deep is McNeil for Lowell. Now winding up is Auer for Manchester. They use four forwards. Here's Boudreau on the power play. Bednish moves it up for Healy. Healy playing at right wing. Chartrand at center. Thomas is on the left wing. And it's back to the point to Bednish. Bednish takes his shot. Passes up, gets a return pass, drive, save, loose in front, rebound, Lowell, and the quick clear out by McDonald. 6 shots for Manchester and a 1-0 lead. Just one shot for Lowell, and that's a real surprise. Here's Auer, the defenseman, leading the attack. Deep, the pass across in front. And the backhander missed by Healy. Batted up and out of the zone by Lowell's Chelios. He's a cousin of Chris Chelios, the All-Star National Hockey League defenseman from Glen Ellen, Illinois. Still pro league. Big, tall, rangy defenseman. He's looking at this attack as it goes deep for Healy. Healy slides it around the boards to the left point man, Bednish. Bednish and Thomas. Thomas trying to center it, and it's knocked away by Svoboda. The power play continues. 38 seconds left for Manchester. They lead 1-0. 12-14 left in the first period. Break out to center ice and the slap shot in by Auer. Ricochets around. Lowell player knocked down. Puck kept in at the point, now knocked away. And back to cover is Corvo. He has the lone goal of the game. It came early, a long shot from 55 feet that beat Moss in the goal for Lowell. Breakout for Manchester again. Moving it up deep. Puck wrapped around the boards. Public trying to clear it out. Broken up. A lead pass on the right for Ritchie. Back at full strength. Lowell trying to set the play in front for Keeler. Couldn't quite do it. Couldn't get the shot away. So Scott has not been busy. and Moss has in the Lowell nets. Trying to move it out. It's stopped here by Kelly. Kelly trying to center it. The play broken up inside the Lowell line and goes to center ice. Wrapped right back in by Aldos. Chris Aldos on defense. Puck fed up by Rosinski for Lowell. Got it around in the neutral zone. Loose puck is picked up by Miller. Miller over the line with Smithson. The play broken up by DeFaul of Lowell and cleared out to center ice. The up-tempo has been created by Manchester as they lead 1-0. They're carrying the play before the capacity crowd at this new arena at Manchester, New Hampshire. Puck back at the point. Seeley of Manchester is broken up in the play, but it's covered by Simpson. This more or less a checking line and hard-hitting line for Bruce Boudreau with Miller and Smithson and Schmidt. And therefore checking, the puck rolls back to the point. It is kept in at the point. Now DeFore able to move it out. Play up. Lysak is spilled right in front. Shot and a great save there by Scott. And with the penalty coming up on Manchester. 10:15 left in the first period. 1-0 the Monarchs.
Now there's the referee going through and calling the penalty on Hauer as he put a little bit of a hook on the Lock Monster that was going through. Watch here as the Lock Monsters are attacking. There's a little bit of a hook, but watch this nice move here as Kirka breaks in on Travis Scott.
Lysak was tripped, and a power play now. Chelios moves it for Keeler. Keeler for Felsner for Ritchie. Ritchie gets it back to the point for Chelios. Chelios off for Keeler. Keeler, top scoring threat, moves it in front. It's loose. It's tied up by Scott. Felsner trying to pry it loose.
Well, in case you didn't know, it's the largest prize pool in Candlepin polling history. It's the AT&T Threes $30,000 Candlepin Challenge. So see the best bowlers from throughout New England compete head-to-head in this King of the Hill tournament. That's the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, Saturdays at 6 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. exclusively on AT&T 3.
Power play for Lowell, trying to organize from center ice now. Keeler with it. There's it for McDonald, who's playing the point on the power play. Seeley breaks it up for Manchester and flips it out. 1:20 left on the power play. 9:33 left in the first period. The shots are 6-2 for Manchester, but Kirka had a great one just after the tripping call on Auer as he tripped Lysak. Keeler is offside on the left wing at a face-off call.
Well, most home teams have those opening night jitters, and it looks like the Lock Monsters have got the jitters tonight, Fred. The Monarchs have just been carrying the play. If they have their nerves up, it's the right nerves because they are in full attack mode.
Zigomanis, a rookie right out of junior hockey, on the play at center and got it in the zone, but now it's knocked away. Rosinski with it. Moves it for Harmer. They're playing the points on the power play with 54 seconds left. Lowell having trouble working it out. Finally they do. Harmer gets it away to Rosinski. Carries over the line. Flips it in for DeFaul. Back for Harmer at the right point. In deep, trying to connect with DeFaul. Doesn't work. Around the board, Zigomanis, the rookie, going for it. Rosinski keeps it in for DeFaul. DeFaul, big, rangy left winger in his second year in pro hockey. Played for Cincinnati. Now Harima, another young, promising player. Worked it in front. Flip. Scott got it. He didn't get much wood on it, but he worked it right in front.
Well, Harima moving to the front of the net, coming out from behind, looking for a hole on Travis Scott, but doesn't find one. Watch here as he just doesn't get the puck really good on his stick. It kind of bounces over it, but going to the net creates chances, and that's exactly what Jeff Harima was trying to do there.
First goal at the new arena for Joe Corvo. Corvo now trying to drill it out of the zone. Jammed up by Lowell on the boards. A whistle for a face-off with 14 seconds left on this power play for Lowell. Their first of the game. Manchester blanked on their opportunity.
One of the interesting things about the Lowell Lock Monsters is the general manager is Tommy Rowe. And Tommy Rowe this year also took on a second responsibility as the assistant coach on the bench. So the GM is the assistant coach, a two-headed hat for Tommy Rowe.
Chelios with it, 6'3", 200-pound defenseman in deep. Ritchie trying to make a play from the board, sends it deep to Felsner. Around the boards, Chelios moves up, drives it deep. Seeley trying to wrap it out for Manchester, jams it up in the corner. Lowell trying to keep it in. Harmer does momentarily. Yes, they keep it in at the blue line, but now full strength. So Manchester killed off that power play opportunity, and they break out with a threat now. Drop it back for our shot block. Number reach Moss. With the score, Manchester 1 and Lowell nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ask you a little bit more in a minute. Back upstairs to Fred and Brad.
And play on for Lowell. Kuznick wraps it in. Ricochets all the way around the center ice. Batted around in the neutral zone. Lowell organizing and starting the attack. On the left wing side, a drive in by Lysak. Another of the promising youngsters keeps it in with Kirka. Kirka to Keeley behind the net. He can't control it. And Manchester doing a superb job keeping those shots down. The shots are 8-4 for Manchester, and 6:23 left in the first period. Corvo, the lone goal of the game for Manchester. In deep, Miller gets it, drives it back in front. Moss able to make a save on the backhand bid by Payette.
Well, Tyler Moss having to make a save, but creating his own problem as he mishandles the puck. And the shoot-in, he moved the puck much too soon as the Manchester player had not made a commitment. This is out at the blue line. This is after it came out. But earlier on that, Tyler Moss was the guy that created this scoring opportunity for Payette. Now he's got to take that puck down there and hold it a little bit longer before he tries to move it by somebody.
A fourth line being used by Bruce Boudreau. Reba back up from the East Coast League. Has it behind the net, trying to swing it in front. Moss trying to jam it up, and finally does. Pressure there by Reba out of Framingham. Face off in the Lowell zone.
Now, one of the things, Fred, that a goaltender's got to do, he has to realize, what's coming in. Once they dump the puck out and you go in to handle it, what is your defenseman doing? Is he letting the guy go by him, or is he taking the guy away from you? And if he takes him away from you, you have to make the play.
Face off, puck down. Lowell controls out of a scrimmage there, and they break. Harmer getting it over the line for a drive by Harima. Locked off the boards by Scott as DePaul tried to move in for that loose puck. Face off coming up now to the left of Scott.
Andre Payette, big strong guy, gets a few penalty minutes and a few fisticuffs. Just setting a little precedent out here that it's my building and this is Payette country.
Face off coming up to the left of Scott. Goal in the East Coast Hockey League for Bruce Boudreau. Then with Lowell, now with Manchester, and the draw to Auer. Veteran defenseman out of the International Hockey League. The Manitoba Mooses, the team he played for. Can't control it moving up. And a break here over the line. DePaul, shot, save, rebound, save, Scott on the rebound. He made two in a row there as Zigomanis tried to get that loose puck on the rebound.
Well, Travis Scott making the big save, but watch the center of your screen, number 7, Mike Zigomanis, driving to the net, gets in, and before Travis Scott can move, he gets the rebound, throws it right back at him. And that's how you go to the net. There's Zigomanis with a quick backhand, and Travis Scott was not ready for it, but he did make the save on it.
Lowell perking up on the attack. They get the face-off now to Keeler. Keeler from the left wing side. Tried a shot, block, loose puck, Ritchie, save, Scott! Oh, beauty! And not many shots for Lowell, but boy, they have been labeled.
Well, they're starting to get a few right there. And as you go, the Manchester Monarchs, bad clearing of the puck. It hit a player, bounced out in the center. And Byron Ritchie, coming back out by the circle, just circles and picks up the puck. Next thing you know, he's dead center. And he gets a half snap, half slapper high on Travis Scott's left shoulder. Outstanding save by Scott.
Ritchie, 24 years old in his 6th year as a pro with Cincinnati last year. The draw is back to Keeler. Keeler able to keep it in. Moving up now as he broke away. Shot! And a save by Scott again, and Keeler can really fire that puck.
When she's not lecturing undergraduates, Sydney Fox is crisscrossing the globe in search of lost treasures. In fact, you might call her the female Indiana Jones. She's the relic hunter, and you can catch her Saturdays and Sundays at 9 p.m. only on AT&T 3, and that's wicked cool TV.
And it looks like Ron Smith's going with 4 forwards, using Keeler back at the point. And the puck driven in. You look up on the board to see if this is a power play. It's Keeler, the winger, playing back at that left point.
But if you look down on the boards and you look at number 5, Jan Vadratska, he's the defenseman moved in. So if they win the draw, they want to put it in the forward's hands.
Puck wrapped around the boards. Reynolds back there with Vadratska, who had moved up with Keeler back at that point position with his really hard shot. Puck goes into the corner. Kelly going after it. A hard hit on Bednesh. Bednesh moves it around the boards now for Manchester, with Corvo able to keep it in at the right point. Moves up the boards to Becker. Bednesh. Bednesh trying to stick handle in front. Get a handle to it. Can't quite do it. It's taken away by Keeler. Keeler around the boards and out of the zone. 4:20 left in the first period. 1-0 for Manchester. Joe Corvo scored at 1:02 of the first period on a 55-foot shot. There's been some spectacular goaltending by Scott now, and Moss after that first one by Corvo. Shots are 9-8 for Manchester. So Lowell has moved on the attack. McNeil tips it out to center ice. Pudlick stops it. In his 2nd year as a pro out of St. Cloud State. Gets it to the veteran. Auer broke it up. McDonald trying to move with it at center ice. Can't do it. Puck is flipped in the zone. The Lowell zone. And fought for. Smithson moving in there. That checking, hitting line out there for Bruce Boudreau. Smithson with it. Now wrapped around the boards. Pudlick can't contain it. And breaking his Svoboda, pulled down on the play, and out goes Pudlick. It will be a power play for Lowell. They finally lose possession of the puck, and it's called on Pudlick for the takedown.
Well, Pudlick just getting caught and having to chase the lock monster, Harima, as he goes here. There's Harima, got a stride on him. Now there's the little hook on the hip. Now he reaches up that hip there. And Svoboda feels it, and he knows he's going to go down and draw the penalty. And, wasn't kind of sure where Pudlick was, but he knew that if he could draw the penalty, and if he didn't get the 2-on-1, he was going to draw a penalty and get a power play. And a kind of a heads-up play by Svoboda. I'm not sure Pudlick put that big a hook on him.
Second power play for Lowell. Jackson trying to move it out with Corvo. Corvo has possession, can carry and lug that puck, and he drives it down wide of Moss. Manchester short-handed, 2nd time of the game. Zigomanis is out there, back for Harmer. Harmer winding up in the Lowell zone. Chartrand forechecking on the play. Chelios and Harmer play the points. Puck is intended for Kirker. He can't get it. And the clear made by Chartrand. Hit in by Jackson. Jackson tried to move it in front. Blocked. Harmer gets it away. Chelios, long drive in, wide of Scott. Around the boards, kept in by Zigomanis. The rookie plays with a lot of poise. His rookie of the month, for the month of October in the American Hockey League, for his fast start with this Lowell team. The breakout now. Moving up is Ritchie. He has speed. He goes deep. Still holding. All the way the length of the ice on that rush. And the puck rides back to the point. Kept in now. Ritchie trying to set up in front. A drive from the right side by Keeler, blocked. And we have 34 seconds left on the power play. 1:49 left in the first period. 1-0, the Monarchs over Lowell. And the goal by Joe Corvo at 1:02 in the first period. A big break up here, and a penalty coming up as Chartrand tried to break in short-handed, and he was hooked on the play, and that nullifies the power play for Lowell, and in 16 seconds, the Monarchs will go on a power play.
Byron Ritchie getting caught in no man's land when the puck gets turned over, and he puts a little bit of a hook on Chartrand, enough to throw him off stride. And when he goes off stride, the official's hand, Dave Hansen, just puts it up, and we're going to see a 4-on-4 for about 16 seconds. Here's Rusinski making the turnover. Now he knows he's in no man's land there. He kind of wraps around, and he right there, Chartrand kind of makes it look better than it was.
Number 15, Mike Rusinski.
And the puck is out to center ice. Chartrand able to wrap it in. 4-on-4 briefly. Now McNeil for Lowell. He's on with McDonald, able to flip it out. Back toward Corvo. Checked by McDonald. Slowed down on the play. Chartrand winding up. It is now a power play with 1:08 left in the first period. The second of the game for Manchester. Manchester in front by a score of 1-0.
1 minute left in the period.
Sellout crowd here at the new Verizon Wireless Arena, Manchester. 10,000 plus on hand. Corvo fails to contain it at the right point. Now flipped it up over the line. Delayed call for an offside. Lowell takes its time, and a long shot all the way down by Goretzka, the defenseman for Lowell. We have 33 seconds left in the period. Manchester starting back at the power play. Corvo pass on the left wing side. Kelly is spilled, broken up. No penalty on the play. And the clear down the ice by Harmon. Now breaking out. Howard. Oh, he can fly over the line, breaking right in, and couldn't get control of it in front of the net. Howard with plenty of speed there. Almost a breakout by Lowell now. Puck is stopped inside the line by Svoboda, and Manchester is offside.
Well, be sure to stay tuned during our first intermission as Dick Lutz speaks with Brad Chartrand. Paul Healy will be by with some of his unusual insights, and Fred and I will have all the statistics and the highlights from the first period, so be sure not to go too far.
Brad Park is our analyst, the new scout for the New York Rangers, as the first period ends here, and the shots are 14-9 for the Monarchs. And the score, it is Manchester 1 and Lowell 0.
One period complete at the Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester, and the Manchester Monarchs lead the Lowell Lock Monsters by a score of 1-0. Welcome back, everybody. Dick Lutz with Fred Cusick, Brad Park, and Paul Healy. What a building, what a night, and a lead for the Monarchs after one. And we're happy to be joined by Brad Chartrand of the Monarchs. You're quoted in the paper today saying after 13 games on the road, you could use a home game.
Well, you know what, we knew that coming into the year, and we've seen the development of this great building so far. We've had some tours, and it's just great to get out there and just to feel the energy. We knew it was going to be something special tonight, and it's certainly been that way so far. 10,000
people in the stands. What thoughts were going through your mind, especially when the roar of the crowd when Corvo scored that first goal?
Well, it's just one of those special nights, and we talked about it in the dressing room. We can't be too up for it, but it's like that first pro game, that first NHL game, that first big game that you played as a kid. It's something that we're going to remember for a long time, and to have the community and all the fans behind us, it felt great out there. That it started in the anthem there when the crowd got going. It was really exciting.
Talk about the first 13 games playing away from home. Now, Jeff Eisenberg, the president of the Monarchs, was quoted in the paper today saying that in the AHL, typically about 70% of the games are won by the home team. You played 13 your games on the road before coming home, so you're facing some tough odds.
Well, that's for sure. It is tough to start the year out on the road, but at the same time, we knew that coming into the season. We had a little saying that we were the road warriors there for the first bit. We've had some close games. We battled hard on the road, and it's great to be home, and we're going to have to use this to our advantage. Like you said, the home team advantage here in this league is quite big, and we're hoping that's going to be the factor coming down the stretch.
You played with the Lock Monsters last year. You move up the road a little bit to Manchester, still in the LA Kings organization. You went to camp with the Kings this year. What were you thinking about your chances of making the big club?
Well, I think that's the pinnacle for every athlete, is to try to make it to the big time, and that's the level I want to play at and want to get back to. I went in there with the attitude that I'm going to make this team. You can't have it any differently. You have to be positive. You have to go in there and show them what you can do and play your role. But at the same time, being sent down here, I have a job to do down here as well. And it's a continual development, and I hope to get back up there sometime.
Did you notice a difference in your team's play with the big crowd in the first period of tonight's game from what you've seen in the first 13 games on the road?
Well, sure. There's that little extra jump in our step. It's the sixth man, so you speak, out there. But we're just trying to play our game. We don't want to make it such a big production that we kind of lose track and we're working too hard and not accomplishing anything. We're trying to stay somewhat under control. There's lots of adrenaline going, but for the most part, we did play our game and did the things we want to do out there.
You drew a penalty right at the end of the period. Tell us about that play.
Well, penalty killing is a big part of any kind of hockey special teams, and we're really trying to work on being aggressive and to challenge them to make a play. And that's basically what I did. Is I challenged the defenseman to try to pass it through me, and got a stick on it. And speed kills sometimes, and that's what I tried to do, is try to get a jump on him. And
you did it, and you did it well. Brad, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way. Brad Chartrand, our guest. Between periods, it is Manchester 1, Lowell 0 at the Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester. Paul Healy's loose in the stands. He'll be joining you next when we come back after this on AT&T 3.
Welcome back to ATT3 Hockey Night in New England. After one period of play, the Manchester Monarchs hold a 1-0 lead over the Lowell Lock Monsters. Take Route 293 into Manchester, take the Granite Street exit, go to the corner of Elm, and there you are. The biggest, bestest piece of real estate in all of the Granite State. The new Verizon Wireless Arena, and here we are, over 10,000 seats, 4 years in the making, $70 million. Let's find out who are the Manchester Monarch fans. Sir, excuse me, come here. What's your name? Where are you from?
Ernie Gillen. I'm from Alton Bay, New Hampshire.
No kidding. How far is that from here?
It's about an hour drive.
Yeah, was it worth the trip?
It was worth the trip. Very entertaining.
Yeah, what do you think of the Manchester Monarchs?
Doing very well. It's nice to see them finally have a home opening game.
Yeah, this is the biggest deal in Manchester since indoor plumbing, I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
All right, hey, thanks a lot. Enjoy the game. All right, let's move down here. Excuse me, ma'am. What's your name? Where are you from?
Paul Delboni from Manchester.
Oh, you're from Manchester. So did you walk over here tonight?
Well, in a way. Long walk.
So, Manchester hockey, what does it mean to you for the Monarchs?
Well, I wasn't in support of it, but I am now.
All right, we got you. Okay, hold on. Let's move over here. Sir, welcome. We're live with ATT TV.
Yes.
Manchester Monarch hockey. What's it mean to you?
Oh, it's fantastic. This is a great hockey town, you know. We do a lot of skating up here, and you can see the turnout that we have. It's fantastic.
10,000 people.
Oh, yeah, we really need it up here.
Of course, there'll be more than hockey here. With this arena, we'll have concerts, like Bare Naked Ladies. I'm sure you're a big fan of them.
Oh, yeah, right. We know tomorrow night they're all sold out anyways for Aerosmith.
Exactly, right. They'll be here tomorrow, and it'll be a lot louder. Trust me on that one. Here we go. Let's get with our younger set here. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Simon, and I'm from Manchester.
You are from Manchester. You play hockey?
No.
Yeah, we'll keep it up. Give it a shot someday there. Okay. So what do you think of Manchester Monarch hockey?
Good. Very good.
Very good. All right. Hold on 1 second. Here's our grand finale. Sir, stand up. Nice T-shirt. Did you make that yourself?
Yeah. No, I didn't make it myself.
Where'd you pick that up?
It was a present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where do you live, sir?
Hooksett.
What's your name?
David.
Now, Hooksett, New Hampshire.
Right.
Up in Hooksett, that's pretty remote.
It's about 15 minutes from here.
Now, do you have a single outhouse or a double outhouse there in Hooksett?
We have both.
You have both?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Manchester Monarch hockey, you think you'll come back?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
All right, great. If you're lucky, maybe you'll catch another one of these T-shirts, all right?
Yeah.
Go get them.
Okay.
Enjoy the game. There we go, Mark. We're going to say hi to one more guest, and then we'll be on our way. Here you go, sir. Stand up. You have a better shot of catching a T-shirt that way. What's your name and where are you from?
Paul Gagney from Goffstown.
Goffstown. What do you think of the Verizon Wireless Arena?
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah?
Awesome. Great hockey, local, 5 minutes from home. Can't beat it.
You think he'll come back?
Absolutely. Got season tickets with the company.
All right. So, folks, after one period of play, the score is the Manchester Monarchs 1, the Lowell Lock Monsters 0. We'll be back with the second period of play after some short words from our sponsors. You're watching ATT3 Hockey Night in New England.
At the end of one period of play, Manchester in front by a score of 1-0 over the Lowell Lock Monsters. And Lowell has been off to a fast start in most of their games this year. Explosive attack, but they were pretty well contained over the first half of that period.
Oh, definitely. The Monarchs came out. If they had those opening night jitters, they got rid of them real quick because they just went on the attack and went after the Lock Monsters. And here's some highlights. Watch, this is the first goal by Joe Corbo. Watch number 3 right there. Chelios redirects it, and that fools the goaltender right there coming out of the screen. And Tyler Moss has trouble as it slips through his 5-hole. But good chances. There's a shot. And watch the low goaltender having to make a save right there as the Manchester guy gets through. Manchester defending there. There's Travis Scott having to make a big save on Brad Defoe. So you can see they were attacking. Look at the stats for the first period. Shots on goal. It was a big lead for Manchester right off the bat, but it ended up 14-11. Face-offs won. Did favor the Lock Monsters. They won 14-9. Both teams scoreless on the power play and each getting one shot.
Well, as we told you, Brad Park is now a scout for the New York Rangers, so looking at that period, you know, the guy that impressed me is Manchester Monarchs Howard on defense. He can really move, but he's a bit old to make it in the NHL.
Well, I think, you know, a guy like Howard, one of the things that you had Richie coming down, had a lot of speed on the outside, and Howard just turned and stayed right with him, took him right behind the net, and took him out in the far corner. And that you need to see that kind of acceleration if you want to get to the National Hockey League. Now, here's a guy that, this is exactly why the guys, scouts like myself are in the building. You're looking for a guy who's mature, who's got those upbeat skills that can go to the next level. And it's just a matter of confidence. And if he gets it down here and he does the same things up in the NHL that he does down at this level, then he'll be around.
And Brad has a computer with stats on every single player you want to name. I don't care what league he's in. You go to bed with that computer?
No, it's just a great source of finding. A lot of teams are using now. They're all computerized. I can call up anybody that's playing professional, find out how they've done over the last few years. I can go in and look at game reports where our scouts have seen them and find out what the other guys' feelings are. You find out how much they make, because that's definitely at the NHL level relates to whether it could be a good deal or a bad deal.
Well, it's great to have you in that capacity, and we don't want to lose you in your capacity here as the analyst with our Lowell and Manchester games. At the end of one period of play, it is 1-0, Manchester leading the Lowell Lock Monsters. We're set to go in the second period. It is a 1-0 lead for the Monarchs over the Lowell Lock Monsters. The goal, 1:02 of the first period, unassisted by Joe Corbo. Third-year professional hockey, right defenseman for the Manchester Monarchs. 27 seconds left on the penalty to Brzezinski, and each team now having 2 power play opportunities with 27 seconds left on this one for Manchester, and they have failed. Shots were 14-11 for the Monarchs, and they piled up most of them over the first half of that period.
Joe Corbo is also from Illinois. He's from Oak Park, Illinois. 6'1", 210 pounds. He actually last year with the Lock Monsters had 10 goals in the regular season, 3 in the playoffs. So this is, for him to get on the scoreboard early does a lot for his confidence.
Chartrand out there as a penalty killer now, centering the power play. That remains 27 seconds left on it for Manchester. And the draw is back to Auer over to Seeley, second-year pro. Center ice wraps it in. Ricochets around. Chelios trying to get it. McDonald in the corner, but it is kept in. Right point. Auer drills it. Deflected high and wide. He is the top scorer among defensemen, International Hockey League last 2 years. Out in front, it goes to Auer again. He can't control it from 40 feet out, and it bounces to center ice. Seeley wraps it back in. Batted around by McNeil. Trying to set up Brzezinski, who's back out. Full strength. Healy with it. Rushing. Broken up. And McNeil flips it out of the zone. First minute of play in the second period. 1-0 Manchester. Seeley to center ice. The slap shot ricochets around. Keeler trying to get it. Checked on the play. A hit. And out front. Quick flip by Kelly. Goes wide. Nednesh moves it in front. quick shot. What a save by Moss on that one. That was a dandy as Corvo moved up for a bid for his second goal.
Well, a real heads-up play by Bednash, Yaroslav Bednash, as he goes around. This is over on the boards. There's Becker. There's Bednash coming in. Now watch the center of your screen. Here's Corvo. There's the little pass. All Joe didn't do was get it up where he wanted to. He got about halfway up the net. But Tyler Moss coming up with a big save.
Goratzka moving it up. Can't connect with Keeley at center ice now. Keeley trying to move on the loose puck. Taken over by Goratzka. A flip in. Knocked aside by Scott for Corvo. Corvo has the lone goal of the game. Starts the rush out. Pass into center ice. Kelly with it. Bednash shot wide. And it came from well out on the left wing side by Bednash. Puck is back to Aldous. Chris Adlers for Manchester. Moving it all the way down. This may be icing. It is. And a face-off in the Manchester zone.
Well, when you get a kind of an icing call like that, Chris Aldo's coming around the net, already had his mind made up and went up the boards with it. And his winger was open when he first looked, but he dropped his head to make the pass. By the time the pass got there, that winger was covered. And as a defenseman, when you got to head man the puck, you kind of know where where your guys are going to be. You know the areas they're going to be in. And what you really have to do is look at the people on the other team and see who's moving on who. And if you're looking at the other team, you can find out which one of your guys is going to be open. Then you get a little bit more determined and a little bit more dedicated and make a good pass to the open guy.
Face-off won by Lowell. Before trying to get it, can't do it. Kuznick at center ice with it to Wazinski on the right wing side. A flip in. Scott blocking it. 7th year pro, Scott. 3 years East Coast Hockey League and 3 years now, this past 3 years in the American Hockey League. Icing again as Wazinski is back for it for Lowell. And what a love affair the American Hockey League has with New England. You've got 8 teams in New England, 2 in Connecticut, Bridgeport, New, Hartford. You've got Providence, Rhode Island. You've got Springfield, Worcester, and Lowell in Massachusetts, Manchester in New Hampshire, and Portland in Maine.
What a great place for a scout to hang out.
What a great, you can do it out without too many tankfuls of gas, Brad. Back for it, Wazinski. But you do a lot of flying. You're covering what? The whole East Coast? Scouting for the Rangers?
Well, the different teams do it different ways. The Rangers, I have 7 teams that I cover in the National Hockey League, and I cover, I have to know everybody in their organization, so I have to know everybody that's playing in the minors for them. In case we're looking at a trade, we would like to know everybody in that organization. Not a good sign with 3 icings in a row for the Manchester Monarchs.
Zigomanis trying to win it for Harima, and the shot in from the point, and it's blocked by Scott. That was a drive by Kuznick. Drive from the left point by Kuznick. Back again, another icing against Manchester.
Well, this is not a good sign. Not a good sign for a coach when you get this many icings in a row. It means you can't get out of your own end. And here's the puck going back. You're going to get the point shot right here. Almost a deflection right there in front by number 39, Brad Defoe, as he came out of the corner. But if you're icing the puck, it means that you're not getting control in your own end and breaking out well.
Payette with it, moves it down for Manchester, gets a backhander away, but from a 90-degree angle. And that is tied up by Moss for a face-off now, as Manchester finally got it out of their zone. And the face-off coming up to the left of Moss. Payette has not seen much service. This draw back for Corvo. Drive right on and a save by Moss. Seeley over to Corvo again. Makes his shot. Moves it in deep for Jackson behind the net for Manchester as they press in the zone. Along the boards, Payette trying to get control. Moves it deep. Has control along the boards. Checked by Harmer there for Lowell. And puck is kept in, driven well in wide. Around the boards, driving for it, Riva. And the play broken up and a breakout by Lowell. Ritchie moves it in front But Kirker was tied up, could not get control. Weaver leads the rush out. A lead pass for Payette. Stopped by Chelios, trying to move it up the boards. But a battle in the corner to the right of Moss. 1-0 Manchester in front. Second period action. Puck rolls around in the zone. Flip out looking for Ritchie is too far. And this is icing now against Lowell.
Well, Hockey Night in New England continues next Friday, November 23rd, when the Lowell Lock Monsters play host to the Hartford Wolfpack. Join Fred Cusick, Dick Lutz, Paul Healy, and myself for all the action live at 7 p.m. right here on AT&T 3 next Friday, November 23rd.
Chartrand on the face-off. He's back for Auer. He's a threat from that right point position. Moves it in. Healy trying to center it. Checked by McDonald. And around the boards, McNeil breaks it up. Left wing side. Center ice. Flips it in. Svoboda trying to collect deep. Svoboda gets it behind the net. Trying to slide it in front for McDonald. Can't do it. In to get it. McNeil trying to come in front for a backhander. And its block goes wide. And the breakout on the left by Healy from Manchester. Healy for Auer in for a backhander and a save by Moss. A beauty. Auer on the attack there. Healy with it, keeping it in now. Trying to move it in front. Moss is down. The puck is bouncing free and the score. And a jam of players. And protest by Moss. Wondering why the whistle was not blown. As the goal is scored from in front by Healy.
Wow, credit Eric Healy with having a wonderful shift. He took a check along the boards to send Hauer in, who moved up the ice to attack. And then when Hauer didn't score, the Lock Monsters tried to clear it. Healy picked it out of the air along the near board, fed it down low. There's Hauer. Now it bounces over. Now what's 33 right there? Healy just pick it out of the air and knock it over the prone Tyler Moss right there. Now the Lock Monsters are protesting that somebody was in the crease, but I'm not sure that that's going to hold up. As you can look, they might have been in the crease, but by the time the puck goes in, everybody is out of the crease. A good goal, a 2-0 lead for the Manchester Monarchs on a great piece of work by Eric Healy.
Healy's 7th goal of the season. He's been hot lately. A couple of goals in their last game. And Healy is from Hull, Massachusetts. In his 4th year in professional hockey, the last 2 with Springfield of the American Hockey League. So Healy makes it 2-0 for the Monarchs. The first goal in the first period by Corvo.
Well, Healy's most productive year was last year, where in the American Hockey League, where he had 33 points, 16 goals, 17 assists. He had a pretty good year with the St. John's Flames. In 64, Williams had 38 points. By the great effort by the young guy.
So a big goal there and a 2-0 lead for Manchester over Lowell. And no question that Auer creates a big offense as Kelly rushes now. He's it deep with Becker in the corner. Bedmish digging it free, centers it, and it rolls across for Zigomanis. The rookie, 20 years old, starts the rush out for Lowell. A long drive wide will be icing. No, wave it off. And around the boards, the puck is quickly swept out, goes to Kelly. Kelly trying to move in, but the play is offside.
Kelly a little bit unsure as Bednash was ahead of him up the middle of the ice, and he looked at him and then all of a sudden did not give him the puck. And by that time, Bednash was already at the blue line and couldn't put the brakes on in time. That's where we got the offside. We got a little Jan Vedradska on that last goal. Overstated his case to the referee, Dave Hansen, and received a 10-minute misconduct.
Assisted by number 2.
The shots are 21-13 for Manchester. Manchester leads Lowell by a score of 2-0. Keeler is shot, and a save by Scott. A wrist shot, and he had plenty on that.
From Howard
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty effective wrist shot by number 11. And that's Greg Peeler as he just releases it. Trying to use the defenseman as a screen right there. You can see Richard Seeley putting his legs together, letting it go on the outside.
Peeler was a star at the University of Lowell. He's out with Ritchie and Felsner. That's the line. Generally regarded as the #1 line for Ron Smith and the Lowell Lock Monsters. Smithson gets it over the line for Manchester. Checked along the boards. Puck kept in by Seeley. Wrong shot in. Grabbed by Moss. And a face-off call. The goal by Healy from Chartrand and Auer at 4:43. So it is a 2-0 lead for Manchester over Lowell. We have 13:32 left in the second period. The Monarchs in front of Lowell by a score of 2-0 on the goals by Corvo first period, Healy second period. The shots at 21-13 for Manchester, 7-2 Manchester in this period. And the draw is back to the point for a shot there by Reynolds, and the save by Scott ties it up and a face-off call.
Look at number 3, Peter Reynolds. As a defenseman, you get that puck off the draw. It's almost like you only have 2.5 seconds to shoot that puck, and if you can't shoot it right away, you got to get back into the corner rather than getting it deflected or blocked.
Puck back for it. Husnick for Lowell. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds moving it up to Kirka. Now in the center ice, but intercepted by Manchester. Get all the way in on Moss, and he kind of scrambled for that one and tied it up. That was Corvo flicking it in from center ice.
Oh, Freddie, you don't think Eric Healy's on a kind of a roll? That's the 5th goal he's had in the last 4 games. And, when you get a forward on a roll like that, you just keep going to the well, keep sending them out if you're the coach.
And the face-off in the center ice. Lowell trying to combine over the line. Manchester can't do it. Reynolds breaks up the play at center ice. Now the puck is dug free by Weaver. Got it in the corner. Weaver working it behind the net, controlling in front, getting it. Moss down, scrambling. Corbo keeps it in at the right point. Moves it up on the left side to Pudlick. Pudlick missed, and it's out the center ice. Controlled by Corvo. Corvo trying to move it in with Jackson, but can't do it. And back a break here for Lowell, off for Ritchie. Ritchie's wrist shot goes wide. And he had a pretty good opportunity there. Liza fights for it deep for Lowell. Batted away by Weaver. And the puck broken up by Corvo. Corvo shot, a threat, a save. A shoulder save by Moss on a good rush by Joe Corvo. Back in front. And a Moss, a save again. And the pressure by Manchester. They're back the way they started the first half of the first period. They lead 2-0. Generally controlling this game. Each team with 2 power play opportunities, but no scores. And back for it now goes Harmer. Harmer for Lowell, trying to move it out. Can't do it. Now he tries the right wing side. Up the boards, but the play is checked there by Healy. Now it bounces out, and a break up the right wing side. McDonald in front. McNeil backhander wide, and a good chance there. Chelios a shot. A save, Scott. Holding at the right post. Chelios with that bid.
And Travis Scott giving him a little bit more of a rebound than he wanted to on that shot off the boards by Chelios. And he was just reaching for that puck. You notice at the other end, watch as they come in. Now watch how the Lockmasters go through the middle. And that's number 20 breaking down the middle for the Lowell Lockmasters, Ian McNeil. And he's right there on the doorstep as the puck comes back off the boards from Chelios.
The shots are 12-4 for Manchester in this period. Pretty good indication of where they have carried the play and lead 2-0. And a break by Kelly. Kelly trying to move right in. The backhander. A scrambling Moss able to tie it up. And the puck is bounced away. Big threat there by Kelly, who played a couple of games. Here's a break by McDonald in. Backhander. Save Scott at the other end. as Lowell moves to the attack on that bid. Auer slows it down, takes control, gives it to Seeley, and the breakout by Kelly. Kelly moves it off to Bednash. Bednash stopped at the Lowell blue line. This one flipped away by McNeil all the way to Scott as the lines change on the fly. Zigamanis forechecking on the play. A good rush out by Corbo. He's been a bright star. Holds it in deep. Tried a shot that missed the net on Moss. And a breakout up the right side by Brad DeFaul. Big, rangy defenseman. He is hit on the play by Aldous. Aldous just up. And a pass here across in front. Can't get it. Shot on Scott. Saved. DeFaul battling for it. He has played well in his second year of pro hockey after playing with Cincinnati last year under Ron Smith. Big, rangy left winger. Pass off for Harima, center ice. Harima trying to break over the line with DeFaul, and that play is stopped by Aldous, who has lost his helmet. In the center ice, no tripping call there as down went Schmidt for Manchester. And back on the right wing side, Harima. Harima slowed down by Aldous. Aldous getting possession, able to flip it out. All the way down to the Lowell end. This is icing. 9:21 left in the second period. The score, Manchester 2 and Lowell nothing. Keeler on the faceoff. 2-0 Manchester, and a new faceoff call to the left of Travis Scott.
You know, Fred, you look at those shots, 28 for Manchester, 18 right now for Lowell. And, you know, you try to play a good road game, and you know in a road game you're going to give the other team some shots. And but the scoring chances have been too wide open, and you know, Lowell having such an experienced team and playing very well. You know, they're not playing the type of road game that their coaches want them to.
And a couple of false starts on the drop of the puck, and finally it goes to Seeley of Manchester. Our in the center ice. Pass off on the left. Payette trying to collect it. Armour beats him to it for Lowell. Is checked along the boards, and a breakout here for Lowell. All five men moving up. Keeler on the right side. The up-tempo attack is stopped by Seeley. Seeley gets it out to Payette. Payette trying to move it to Jackson, broken up. Right back center ice, Ritchie, plenty of speed over the line, almost lost control, able to hold it, slide it across, penalty coming up. Keeler shoots, Scott saves, a great chance there, and a penalty coming up on Manchester. It will be the third power play of the game for Lowell.
That's a pretty good indication of a successful team as Ritchie spins back along the boards and finds Keeler coming down the pipeline. Payette takes a cross-checking penalty on the play, but Keeler, having more time than he knew what to do with, just snapped it at the goaltender Travis Scott. But a nice passing play set up by Byron Ritchie.
Keeler had 35 goals for Cincinnati last year. He is a goal scorer. Good wrist shot. Drilled it, and Scott a big save there. Now the power play. McDonald back at a point. Corvo trying to move it out for Manchester. Can't do it. Lowell keeps it in. Trying to set up the power play down. And Harima can't cut in with Zigamanis with it. Back for Harima. Center ice. On the move. Harima pops it wide, goes for it. Ellsler trying to get it. It wrapped around the boards, and Schmidt for Manchester able to fire it out. Third power play of the game for Lowell. They have been blanked 0 for 2, been blanked in the game. Trailing 2-0, 8 minutes left in the second period. 1:12 left on the power play for Lowell. And they can't move it in the zone. Keeler starts the play. Now over to McDonald. Fourth forward on the power play. Up for Keeler. Keeler drops it off. Felsner with it. Felsner to Ritchie. Scores! Beautiful combination work there. Felsner and Keeler setting up Ritchie to put Lowell on the board with a power play.
Oh, Byron Ritchie hitting the spot he wanted to. Stick side inside the post. Watch the screen in front. Look at this. There's no way Travis Scott is looking to the left side of his defenseman. and the puck goes to the right side. Nice passing by the Lowell Lock Monsters. Right here, Keeler slips it off to Felsner in the middle to Ritchie. Travis Scott having no clue where that shot was going to come through because of the screen.
A big goal for Lowell. They needed it. Trailing 2-0. It's now 2-1. A power play. They're 1 for 3 on the power play. 7:30 left in the period. Sednesh trying to move in. Can't do it for Manchester. Puck is out to center ice, and Zigomanis races. He's over the line with DeFaw. Holding. Looking for somebody in front. DeFaw trying to get it. Chases it to the boards. Back to the point to Harmer. Shot. Save Scott. Not much on it. And now Dick Lutz.
Thank you, Fred. I'm with the mayor of Manchester, Bob Baines. What about this building? What about this crowd?
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. Everybody's very excited. Obviously, right here in downtown Manchester, having this kind of a first-class facility, it's a thrill for everyone in Manchester.
What does it mean to the city long term?
Well, we hope it means a lot of great economic development, but also it's a quality of life issue. People now in Manchester can stay right here in Manchester, enjoy great hockey, great entertainment, family entertainment. It's going to be a source of a lot of fun for a lot of people in Manchester.
That's by Manchester Mayor Bob Baines. Back up we go to Fred and Brad.
Face-off in the Manchester zone. Harmer, DeFaw did not get good wood on it, and it went wide, and he was in beautiful scoring position there, just about 25 feet out. Healy, who has a goal, breaks it over the line for Thomas. Thomas trying to put it in front. Play check. DeFaw with it, rolls in front. Moss able to tie it up. Pressure there by Chartrand, Healy, and Bednash and Thomas.
In-Demand Pay-Per-View offers sneak previews of all the current special events and pay-per-view movies available on AT&T Broadband. Check it out Mondays and Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 1 o'clock exclusively on AT&T 3.
On the face-off, back for Auer. A threat. Moves in. Slides it in front. It is blocked. And no shot on net there by Manchester. Right back. A confident Lowell team now back in the game, trailing by 1. They put the heat on. McDonald trying to draw a penalty there with a feed in front. But it is knocked away. Svoboda couldn't get it. Healy. He scored one of the 2 goals. Healy, a beautiful move. Drops it back to the point. A shot by Pudlick. And a save by Moss, who saw it all the way. Still pressure. Now the centering pass is flipped away by McDonald. Rolls down wide of Scott. This is icing. 6:03 left in the second period. Manchester leads Lowell by a score of 2-1.
You know, Fred, you look at that replay of the last goal by Ritchie, and you know most people sitting at home say, how does a guy get that open to take that much time to shoot the puck, right? That's exactly what Bruce Boudreau is saying, who's the coach. How did he get that open? Who was supposed to have him? And you know, he's looking at his back checkers come up the ice, and he knows who's trying and who's not trying.
Chelios with it for Lowell. Around looking for Lysak, and he's broken up on the play. Pass intended for Miller. Miller goes into the corner. Chelios there. They're digging for it to the left of Moss. Nobody can get a handle to it, and no whistle. Finally, Miller does. Second-year pro out of the University of Minnesota. The play broken up and flipped out into center ice. Up to Perka. In deep, Zigomanis. Lysak trying to get it. Rolls it right in front. Luckily, Scott was down on the corner and made the block. Brzezinski keeps it in. Pressure now by Lysak to Zigomanis. Zigomanis wheels away, shoots, and it's wide. Tough angle there as he wheeled from behind the net. And offside, Lowell trying to move in. 5:01 left in the second period. Manchester in front of the Lowell Lock Monsters by a score of 2-1. Long shot by Chelios after the faceoff from center ice, and a save by Scott. The puck goes to Chelios again, back out in the neutral zone, trying to set it up on the right wing side, can't do it. And this one is an offside. Manchester trying to move on the play. 4:43 left in the second period. Manchester leads Lowell 2-1 before a capacity crowd at the brand new Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester. $70 million complex. And this is the first event, appropriately enough, a hockey game, and a good one between 2 American Hockey League teams, Lowell and Manchester. Manchester new that many of the players played with Lowell last year. And the Lowell team now affiliated with Carolina, as icing is called.
Okay, so they're not the brightest bulbs on the planet, but that doesn't mean you won't get a belly laugh out of this fast-paced head-to-head game show. It's Street Smarts, Monday through Friday at 6:30 and 11:30, right here on AT&T 3. That's Wicked Cool TV and T3 Wicked Cool TV.
Shots are 30-22 for Manchester in this game, and a lead of 2-1. Keeler trying to get it in front. Can't do it. Auer breaks it out. A lead for Kelly. Doesn't connect over the Lowell blue line, and a battle right at the blue line now. Kelly, a hard hit in there. 28 years old, played a couple of games with Los Angeles, and maybe a penalty coming up here on Kelly.
Wow, definitely it's a late hit. We heard the whistle. The hit came after the referee's arm went up. Kelly played 8 games in the playoffs with the Los Angeles Kings. He spent most of the year with the New Jersey Devils. But right here, there's the slash, and that's the call right there. And that's Steve Kelly laying a little bit of lumber on the Lowell Lock Monster player right there. Actually, one year, Steve Kelly, he was with the Albany River Rats at 131 penalty minutes. I don't think they're all slashes.
This is the Brad Park computer working flawlessly. As I told you, he is now a scout for the New York Rangers. Great move by Glenn Sader and the Rangers. Now Lowell scored their goal on a power play. They're 1 for 3. This is their 4th power play. McDonald plays the point on the power play, making 4 forwards. Ritchie scored the goal on a beautiful setup from teammates, line mates, Gelsner and Keeler. Auer trying to tip it out. Battle. Jackson trying to get it. Can't do it. Lowell keeps it in. McDonald had moved up a bit with Brzezinski. McDonald and Brzezinski play the points. Now back. Ritchie screen. Oh, he screened that one wide. And the puck is flipped out of the zone. On the power play, 1:05 left. Ritchie able to flip it in. Pushed on it. Auer lost it. DePaul trying to wheel it around in front, but he was at a tough angle when the backhander finally released. Keeler keeping it in. DePaul is on. Ritchie stays out there. Keeler trying to get it around the boards. It goes to the point man, Harmer for Lowell. Up for Keeler, doesn't work. Bounces back for Harmer. Harmer holding, driving, saves, got rebound, and it is Manchester able to clear it out. Chartrand doing that job. 30 seconds left on the power play. 2:40 left in the second period, and the score is 2-1 for Manchester. Starting the rush is Zigomanis. Over to Chelios, driven in the zone. Zigomanis trying to keep it in on the boards and set a play. Wheels nicely, keeps protecting the puck to Harmer. Harmer moving it across for Chelios, and he lost control, and it's out to center ice. That's it on the power play. But breaking now with a chance. Gelsner did not get much wood on it as he broke right in front.
Well, if you're a Monarchs fan, your team will be back in action this Sunday at 4:05 as they host the Portland Pirates. Doors will open at 1:30 p.m. for a special pregame concert from 2 until 2:30 p.m. by renowned recording artist Natural. Everyone in attendance will receive an AHL poster. Stop by the box office or call 868-7300 for tickets.
Svoboda a shot. That's blocked. And Kelly, who served his penalty, puts it down wide. Around the boards, it is taken by McNeil. McNeil can't set up Kirker. And the loose puck is taken by Bednach. Now away to Pudlick. Up the left wing side, can't combine with Becker, former University of New Hampshire star. Back for it, Corvo. Corvo and Healy have the goal. And Corvo is taken down on the play, and a power play for Manchester. It'll be their third with 1:34 left in the second period. Corvo spilled on that play.
Thomas Kirka being a little over aggressive. He tries to put the stick on the thigh of George Corvo, but gets him a little bit below the knee. Down Corvo goes. A good call by referee Dave Hansen. And one of those things is a forward, you're forechecking, you know the guy's got a step on you. You chop his feet out, you're going to the sin bin. Fred, one of the things I liked about the Lock Monster power play is whenever the shot's going to the net from the point, they have other people in front and moving towards the front of the net. And I'd like to see the Monarchs do the same thing.
Bednash appears to be playing the point, leads the rush out on a power play for Manchester. Thomas is out there. Power is the other defenseman. So it's 4 forwards on the power play for Leafs Boudreau. Power able to keep it in. Keeps trading passes there with Chartrand. Now they're trying to move it up in front. It's back by, well up, shot. Oh, that's blocked. Howard gets it, shot. That never reached the net. And he had 2 scoring bids moving well in, almost halfway in from the blue line. But they were blocked. Hour starting back, 40 seconds left in the period. 2-1 Manchester leads Lowell. And the Monarchs on a power play. A lead for Becker, he doesn't get it. Puck bounces across for Bedraska, and he's able to drive it up. Hour there. A flip in wide. Wrapped up. Stop. In front. Shot by Becker. He had Moss dead to rights on that one. It's blocked.
Now that may be one of our highlights. So during our second intermission, Dick Lutz will spend a few minutes with Brett Hauer, and we'll see what Paul Healy has up his sleeve. And of course, Fred and I will have an in-depth recap of the second period, so stay tuned. And credit Tyler Moss with an outstanding save, holding his position, having the poise to just stand in there on that great opportunity.
Becker had it dead to rights. Puck back at the point. Moss a save on that one. A drive from the point by Pudley. And that's it in the period. 27 seconds left on the penalty to Kirka as a power play for Manchester resumes in the third period. At the end of 2 periods of play, the Monarchs in front of the Lowell Lock Monsters by a score of 2-1.
It is Manchester 2, the Lowell Lock Monsters 1 after 2 periods of play at the Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Fred Cusick, Brad Park, and Paul Healy. Welcome back, everybody. Big night in Manchester as we open the brand new arena before a sold-out crowd of 10,000, and we're happy to be joined during our second intermission by Manchester Monarch defenseman Brett Hauer. And we were talking with Brad Chartrand during the first intermission, Brett, about playing 13 games on the road and finally playing a home game. It must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, it was nice getting in the car today and driving 5 minutes to the rink instead of a 2-3 hour bus ride or whatever else. So, and the response here with all the fans, I mean, it's one of the best feelings I've had before a game in a long time.
Now, it wasn't like you were away for 13 games. You were playing road games. You'd have a break. You'd come back to Manchester. You'd practice in Manchester and go out on the road. But still, it doesn't have the same feeling of playing before a home crowd like this.
No, I mean, we've played pretty well this year thus far. Our record doesn't show, I think, how hard we've worked. We've lost a lot of close games. And it's hard when you keep playing on the road because it's kind of nice when you come home and get in front of the home crowd, people picking you up a little bit. It can kind of break up a losing streak a little bit. It's a help to get back on the winning ways. But we've battled through this year, and now we're going to start playing here at home, so it'll be nice.
The roar of the crowd on the 2 goals by the Monarchs, that had to be a special feeling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, one of the most exciting crowds I've seen in a long time. It's like playoff hockey out there, even better. So. We're pretty fortunate. Obviously, we feel very fortunate. Beautiful building, great support, and we're going to put the best, hopefully the best show on ice we can.
You spent a few years in the International League. The last 3 years, you were a first-team All-Star defenseman for Manitoba in the International League. What about your career? You're 30 years old. What do you look for in the remaining years of your career?
Well, I've had a pretty successful career in the minors, so all I'm trying to do here, I signed with the Los Angeles Kings as a free agent, and I'm playing here now, so I'm going to try to play the best I can and help this team out. And if I get a chance to play up top at all and get some more NHL games in, that's my goal. Everyone has a dream to get to the NHL, and I'm 30 years old, but I don't feel like I've started slowing down a lot yet. If I did, I'd admit it. So I'm still looking at trying to get back to the NHL.
You had an assist on that goal in the second period. Tell us about your play.
Well, we have 5 defense tonight, so we're a little short. The right side, myself and Joe Corvo are going just about every other shift, and we play a lot of power play and penalty kills. So just trying to play a smart game and not get caught out getting tired, and just trying to play our game. I mean, my game is just moving the puck and trying to get it up to the forwards and play good in my zone as well. So that's all. You talk about what I'm doing out there. That's just what I'm trying to do.
So far, so good. A 2-1 lead for Manchester after 2 over the Lowell Lock Monsters. Paul Healy is in the stands. He'll be joining you next when we come back after this on AT&T 3.
We're back, ATT3, Hockey Night in New England. After 2 periods of play, the Manchester Monarchs hold a 2-1 lead over the Lowell Lock Monsters. Folks, if you live in the Manchester area, you're familiar with the petition that's been circulating. Many people are very upset over the Manchester Monarch logo. They think the line is too mean and intimidating. Mark, see if you can focus in on this. Many people want this, the Monarch butterfly, to represent their AHL hockey team, and I'm here trying to get people to sign our petition. Sir, what's your name?
Bill.
Where are you from?
Londonderry.
Bill, here's our petition. Are you willing to sign this petition to get the Monarch butterfly as the symbol of this hockey team?
Oh, sir, I'm not.
Why not?
Butterfly's not tough enough.
Oh, come on. Maybe the butterfly isn't so tough, but when they're the larva in the cocoon, that's tough. It's dark, it's gritty, it's like working in the corners. I think it'd be a heck of a symbol.
No, I don't. It gives the wrong impression.
No, you could have the mascot could fly around the arena on cables. It'd be great. The T-shirts could fly into the air. It'd be a beautiful thing. Will you sign?
No, sir, I will not.
All right. Well, thanks anyway, Bill. I'll move on. Let's move down here. Mark. Excuse me. Pardon me, ma'am. Ma'am, could you stand up? We're circulating a petition. We're trying to get the Monarchs to change their logo to the butterfly. We feel the butterfly is graceful, it's stylish, it's agility. Ma'am, stand up, please. What's your name?
My name is Deirdre.
All right. Now, when the Lowell Lock Monster fans score, when their team scores, their fans wave these pom-poms, okay? Imagine if the Monarchs score a goal, 10,000 butterfly nets waving to the crowd. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that would be great.
Are you willing to sign our petition to change the nickname?
No.
No?
No.
Well, I guess I'll have to move on, but thank you anyway. Well, I need better luck with my petition, but after 2 periods of play, the score is Manchester 2 and Lowell 1. We'll be back with more ATT3 Hockey Night New England after this.
It's anybody's hockey game. After 2 periods of play, Manchester in front. They've been in front all the way, and the score is 2-1. Let's look at some of the highlights.
Well, definitely you got to get the puck up the ice, and that's one of the things that the Manchester Monarchs have been doing all night. Here's the goal they got. This is the one Healy putting it in, flipping over Tyler Moss, and that created a little bit of controversy. But the goal counted, and that made it 2-0. But a great passing here by the Lock Monsters. They come back. Ritchie from Felsner and Keeler, and Travis Scott being totally screened on that. There was nothing he could do. Here's another going to the net by the Lock Monsters, and Travis Scott doing a very good job in net. He'd won the last game, and that was important.
So at the end of 2 periods of play, it is Manchester out in front of the Lowell Lock Monsters by a score of 2-1. Had a capacity crowd here at the Verizon Arena, and a 2-1 lead for Manchester.
Well, you want to know how entertaining a game it is, and these fans are enjoying. So let's take a look at the stats right now, and I'll show you one figure that really shows you what's happening out there. It's the shots on goal. Right now, the Monarchs have 32, the Lock Monsters 25. You'll see games when that's the total shots for 3 periods on 2 teams. But look at those shots. That means that plays going up the ice and down the ice. and it's a pretty good goaltending. They only have a 2-1 score.
What about players that impress you? Can you get enough over these 2 periods as you do your scouting report?
Well, you know, anytime you look at players over a couple of periods, you see them, you get a feel for them. Once you see them 2 or 3 times or 4 times, you know, now you're getting really detailed about what they can do, because they show you flashes here and they show you flashes there. But now you start, if you pick one guy out, you start to see, really look at how he is offensively and defensively. For example, a guy like Brad Howard, you know, here's a guy who's 30 years old. He's got a great set of wheels. I was a little disappointed. He had a good power play, had time to shoot the puck, but he got the shot blocked twice. It never got through the net. Now you're going to look and see if that happens again, and if it does, you say, well, maybe this is a trend that you have to be aware of.
So the score at the end of 2 periods of play, 2-1 for Manchester over Lowell. And we'll be back with the action in the 3rd period of play in just a moment. 2-1 lead for Manchester over Lowell. Ready for an exciting 3rd period of action.
Well, it should be a good period. You get a great crowd. Everybody's into it. You still have a power play. The Monarchs have a power play for 27 seconds. And, you know, they got to win the face-off. They got to move up the ice and get it in. You can probably get off one really good shot and get a rebound or a deflection. And that'll be all dictated by winning the face-off. So that'll be key for the Monarchs. On the other hand, the Lock Monsters, they want to, you know, win the face-off, bring it back, dump it down, and that'll take 15 seconds to get the puck back into their zone.
Ritchie and Keeler are out there. They're not only outstanding offensive players, but defensive players as well. And a poke down deep, and Seeley for Manchester winding up. Young defenseman broken up by Keeler. Keeler for Ritchie. Ritchie wheeling, killing time, playing it back to Harmer. And it's flipped down all the way to Scott. And that killed off some valuable seconds for Lowell. And the power play is just about up. Nice work by Ritchie there. Into the zone, it goes deep, not icing. Moss trying to move it out. He stopped on the play. Harmer had it, lost it. Thomas with it for Manchester. Back to the point for Aldous. Aldous misses on his wrist shot. And a breakout here. Perker going. 3-on-2. And the drive is blocked by Scott. A drive by Ritchie. Fairly well out on that one. Gets it again. Shot. Blocked. Kept in by Lowell. Arena circles the net. Trying to put it in front. Can't do it. Back to the point to Chelios. His shot off the side of the net. Pressure here by Lowell looking for the equalizer. Trailing 2-1. And Manchester finally able to get it out. Harmer on the puck. Stopped by Thomas. They battle on the boards. Right in front of the Lowell bench. Tied up for a faceoff.
Well, the 3-on-2 that the Lock Monsters had, that was a high shot from the point, went around the glass, and what happened was the 3 forwards for Manchester stood there and watched the puck go around the glass. The 3 forwards for the Lock Monsters started to accelerate with the puck, and that's why we had the 3-on-2. And there's a record when leading after 2 periods has not been as good as Bruce Boudreau would like, as they've only won 1 game.
Bednash able to move it in. Kelly, up-angled shot, hit the side of the net on that one. And McDonald able to clear it out. McDonald, Harvard University player. Puck out to center ice. McNeil breaking with McDonald. Picks up McDonald for a shot. Save, rebound. McNeil can't get it. He was alone in front very briefly. Svoboda on the puck at center ice, and he's broken up in the play. Bednash with it over the line to Kelly. Stop. Svoboda right back. McDonald on the right. Svoboda hammers one, and it's wide of Scott. Able to keep it in. Whistle here. And a jam. Our first fight at the Verizon Arena. Kelly is in the fight
with McNeil. And they're going toe-to-toe. His sweaters come over Kelly's head. Both right-handers. You can see the left hand of Kelly, who's got the sweater on the right hand of McNeil to eliminate his right hand and get his own free. You see where Kelly's got that left hand right on the numbers on the sleeve. And that's stopping McNeil from getting his right hand free. You can tell he's been in it before. This is step 2. Step 1 is when they start jawing. Step 2 is when they drop them. Now in the National Hockey League, if the sweater comes off, players will get a penalty because of the tie down. Sweaters aren't supposed to be coming over the head. And I think that's going to be here. It looks like the referee is signaling Kelly to go to the dressing room. And he's explaining it right now. He's signaling Kelly going, explaining to Howard. And what happens, the sweaters, if you have a fight, has a tie down on the back. And that is to prevent the sweater from being pulled over your head. And rather than blame the guy who pulls the sweater over the head, they blame the guy and the equipment trainer of the person who gets the sweater pulled over his head, saying that they have faulty equipment. And they're going to be sending Kelly off for additional minutes. He may get a 10-minute misconduct or a game misconduct for that, even though I'd have to say he won the fight.
Well, that's really going to hurt Manchester. He's been a valuable addition. This is only his second game since the Kings sent him to Manchester. They also sent Bednash, as Manchester had Randy Robitaille, who originally started with the Boston Bruins, also played for Nashville. Was a key offensive player in their early going, but he was called up by Los Angeles and has stayed with them. So here's Kelly out. Lowell trailing 2-1, and we're in the opening minutes of the third period here at Verizon Wireless Arena.
You can see there's a little strap on the back of his pants, that white area right there, and that sweater's not supposed to be coming over.
Time of the penalty, 2:09. Monarchs penalty on number 11, Steve Kelly. 2 minutes roughing, 5 minutes fighting, 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalty, 2:09.
Well, Kelly gets 2, 5, and 10. 2 roughing, 5 fighting, 10-minute misconduct.
Well, that's 17 minutes, and there's 17:51 left on the clock. Technically, he can come back for 51 seconds.
Or maybe overtime.
And overtime, that's true. There's a luxury Bruce Boudreau have. Usually in the National Hockey League, you know, the referees do not go to the bench and talk to the coaches and explain their decision. And Bruce Boudreau got a special lip service there from referee Dave Hansen.
Teams are at full strength. Zigomanis on the faceoff. Harima and Defoe on the wings. This is a young, promising line for Lowell. Radska on defense for Lowell, trying to set up play. Back for an hour. And the faceoff coming up after the icing. To the left of Moss. Corvo and Healy scoring for Manchester. They had a 2-1 lead. And Ritchie came back with a power play goal for Lowell. Well, and that's the way we stand.
The Monarchs being a difficult situation. You see they only won 1 game when leading after 2. There hasn't been a lot of games where they've been leading after 2. So this is kind of new territory for them.
Harima is pinned in deep by Spitzen. Spitzen trying to get possession of that puck. And it goes to Miller. Miller holding on the board. Drops it off for Pudlick. Pudlick broken up by Defoe. Puck to center ice. Flipped over the line. Radska with it. Radska moving it up into center ice. Zigomanis with it. Zigomanis over the line, stopping, cutting. He's a promising youngster just out of junior hockey. And he's been scoring well for Lowell. Play broken up, and Auer with it, center ice. As the teams change on the fly back toward Harmon. Around the boards for Defoe. Defoe able to get it out of the zone, not icing, and back for it, Seeley. 16:38 left in the third period. 2-1 Manchester. Sellout crowd here at Verizon Wireless Arena in Manchester. This the opening event. American Hockey League action. Puck rolls down all the way off the boards to Moss. Moss ties it up.
Well, be sure to tune in to Mad TV, and your perception of the world will never quite be the same again. Based on Mad Magazine, this show is the most original and funniest since Saturday Night Live. Check it out on Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, only on AT&T 3, and that is Wicked Cool TV.
Chartrand on the faceoff. He centers Healy and Thomas. Healy with one of the 2 goals.
Read that Zigomanis, he's up from the Kingston Frontenacs. He was the 2nd-round pick of the Carolina Hurricanes, and he's pretty offensive in junior, and he has to establish himself at this level.
Well, 40 goals each of the last 2 years in junior. Puck rolls to Ritchie. Ritchie has the Lowell goal. Up for Felsner in the center ice to Keeler. Keeler around the boards. Ritchie able to keep it in, pokes it deep. Corvo and Keeler go for it behind the net, wrapped away for Chelios, who has moved well up from the left point. Aldous getting it, trying to flip it out. And rolls all the way down over the goal line, so this is icing, and maybe Manchester, that's a little dangerous, trying to sit on a 2-1 lead.
Well, you never really want to sit on it. I think you want to play a little bit more conservative and not take gambles up the ice. But dumping the puck down as Aldous did right there, and he's got a sore left hand. He took a shot a couple of shifts ago in front of the net, so his left hand's a little tender.
Bednash digs the puck free. Starts the rush here as Manchester moves it up with the center ice. Public, long shot, ricochets around. Bednash, Reba able to keep it in. A flip in front. Controlled for the moment by Lowell. Kirker stopped on the play. The puck free, shot, save. Boss rolls back in front. And Becker had an opportunity there. Tough angle. Becker is broken up behind the goal line, and a quick clear out by Lowell's Svoboda. Kirker, McDonald, that's the line. McDonald is the center. Puck down to the Manchester end, and they started out in the center ice. Bounces all the way to the Lowell line. Back for it. Kirker able to tap it in deep, but Auer there. Auer starts it back. Auer is checked on the play. Fell down. Their fans looking for tripping, but no call on that. Seemed to fall more on his own than by the forechecking, and the puck bounces back all the way to the Lowell end, around the boards. Harima trying to move it out, can't do it. Boradska going for it. Schmidt for Manchester, and it goes back to Corvo. Corvo, a quick wrist shot, and he missed from 55 feet. He scored at 1:02 of the first period for the first goal in this brand new arena. Then Healy made it 2-0. Ritchie on a power play for Lowell. 6 minutes into the third period, 2-1. Manchester with the lead. In the center ice, Zigomanis is knocked down on the play, and the crowd yells at that one. Smithson is out there with Jackson. Jackson trying to come up the right wing side, misses the pass. It goes deep. Moss behind the net to Chelios. Chelios around the boards for Lysak. And in the center ice goes Keeler. Keeler snaps it in deep. Ritchie trying to get it. Can't do it. Healy had it up. In the center ice, it goes for Thomas. Thomas to Auer. A shot missed wide. Oh, he was well set up on the play. And Ritchie trying to break out, almost led a 2-on-1. It's off for Lysak. Lysak gets it over the line. Knocked down by Healy. By Auer. Auer jams it up in the corner for the moment. Now it's free to Chartrand. Chartrand starts it out, looking for Thomas. Thomas appeared to be offside, and he was. 13:05 left here in the third period. The score, Manchester 2 and Lowell 1. Manchester in front, 2-1. And Lowell trying to press over the line, can't do it. And the puck is out to Reba, center ice. Drives it in deep, goes behind the net. Down the boards, Felsner trying to come out. Veteran left winger. He's on with Svoboda and McDonald. Puck to Rosinski of Lowell. Starts it up in the center ice. A lead pass for Felsner, can't hang on. And a conservative play here by the teams. Reba, a shot. Save Moss. Rebound out. Kept in now. Driven deep by the left point man. And it's knocked away to center ice by Lowell. Controlled by Corvo. Corvo looking for Reba. He can't move in. McDonald trying to move in over the line. McDonald taken down on the play. And the puck is flipped out of the zone. Backward. Goradska can't set up the floor for Lowell. Up on the right wing side. Jackson drives it deep. Smithson going for it. Forechecking here by Manchester. And Lowell able to work it out. A pass on the left wing side for Defoe. Defoe for Goradska. Puck driven in wide. Taken over by Seeley. And let's see what this call will be. A penalty coming up.
Going to be a cross-checking call. And it's going to go against the Monarchs. And I think it's going to be right against the captain, Dane Jackson, getting called for cross-checking and going to give a power play to the Lowell Lock Monsters. And that's just going to put a little bit, put the Monarchs back on their heels a little bit.
Lowell 1 for 4 on the power play. Their lone goal of the game, scored by Ritchie, who's out there now. Ritchie, Keeler on the face-off for Harmer. Pass block. Roll back for Chelios. He can't contain it. And it's all the way down to Moss. Harmer and Chelios play the points. Keeler up front with Defoe. And Ritchie works it over the line. The play is ruled offside. 11:23 left in the third period. Total shots are 35 to 28. Not too many in this, the third period. 3 apiece for Lowell and Manchester.
Yeah, one of the things, Fred, when you have a 1-goal lead in the third period, when you talk about conservative, you want to be a conservative on the attack in that, you know, you're not going to over-attack, you get caught. However, you want to be aggressive defensively, which means in the neutral zone in your end, you've got to be very, very aggressive in order to shut that other team down.
Dwayne Harmer drives it in for Lowell. Keeler trying to get it, and Defoe. It rolls around for Harmer at the right point. Flipped in deep for Defoe, looking for Keeler in front. Doesn't work. And Chelios is broken up on the play. Right back, an opportunity for Thomas, and the pass is blocked by Harmer. That was a 2-on-1 break with Becker, the open man, but Thomas couldn't get it to him. And now at center ice, Defoe drives it in. Big chance there for Manchester, shorthanded. They're able to drive it out. Thomas moves it all the way down to Moss. We have 55 seconds left on the Lowell power play. 2-1 Manchester leads. Third period, 10:35 left. And a break here over the line. Shotran. Shot scores! Short-handed! Shotran driving in and firing a wrist shot to the top corner to make it 3-1 the Monarchs.
Well, how good is this shot? Because when I show you where Tyler Moss is positioned, he's 3 feet outside of that crease. When Chartrand goes upstairs, it's an inch inside the post, a couple inches inside the crossbar. Look where Moss is. He's out. He's out on this shot. He's got everything shut down, but maybe he doesn't as Brad Chartrand lasers a beautiful wrist shot in that upper corner glove side.
And a shorthanded goal. 3-1 Manchester leads. 10:15 left in period number 3. That was a big run. 25 seconds left on the power play. Elsner trying to come out with McDonald. He's broken up by Thomas. Thomas drives. Save. Moss hangs on as Manchester puts the heat on. Shorthanded.
Well, one of the things, there's a look at Tyler Moss. This is going to be a dynamite angle we're going to see right now. Watch where Chartrand puts that puck, and that is letter perfect. You cannot shoot the puck and hit the spot that you want to. As I said, Moss 3 feet outside of that crease. There should be no net to shoot at, but as he goes down, that catching hand drops, and the puck goes upstairs.
Goradska on the faceoff for Lowell. Starts it out in the center ice. Flip up by Svoboda is blocked sent right back. No icing, of course. Now the power play is up. So Lowell is 1 for 5 on the power play, and they gave up a shorthanded goal. Trying to move in, Svoboda. This play is offside. 9:32 left in period number 3. And with a shorthanded goal by Chartrand, the Monarchs lead 3-1. Chartrand's 5th goal of the season from Schmidt at 9:31, shorthanded. 9:30 left in the 3rd period, and a big 2-goal lead for Manchester. Second time in the game that they've had a 2-goal lead. Our controls in the Manchester end. But flips it out. Smithson going for it. A battle in the Lowell end. Goretzka trying to tie it up. Work a play. Schmidt battling for it. Around the boards. With it. Shot. Save. Mawson. He hangs on. And now Dick Lutz.
Fred, I'm downstairs with Jeff Eisenberg, the president of the Manchester Monarchs. And we'll talk in just a second with Jeff, who's on the phone. It's a busy night. I suspect that's on the phone all night long.
After 20 years, I think I should be able to get rid of all these radios and phones. I want to watch a game, but, that's the deal.
You've got a great night tonight, a great crowd. Now the question is, how do you get them coming back for more?
I've been thinking about that since I got here. I figured we had such great fans. I figured we sell out the first one. I want to keep them coming back, but I think we will. It's a great place, great market, great fans. I think they'll come back.
What told you that Manchester was going to be a good market for the AHL?
I tell you, the first thing we did here was to unveil our logo way back when, and we got a tremendous turnout for that. And the enthusiasm I get every day on the street, everywhere we go, it just screams here. The hockey fans are everywhere.
Can you compare it to Portland, where you came from with the Pirates?
I love Portland. It's a great hockey town, but this is a real cradle here, and right in the shadow of Boston. This is really a hockey hotbed.
Jeff Eisenberg, president of the Monarchs. Thanks. Back upstairs to Fred and Brad.
Well, Ritchie with a backhander. McDonald missed it in front. Would have been in alone for that opportunity. One that Lowell certainly needs, trailing by 2. McDonald is at center ice trying to get control. Can't do it. Manchester in control. Bednesh moves it back to Corvo. Corvo, Healy, Chartrand. Goal scorers for Manchester. And Ritchie on a power play for Lowell. We're in the 3rd period, 8:20 left. Chelios trying to get control. Stopped by Healy. Healy in the corner looking for Bednesh. Doesn't work. And a breakout on the left wing side by McDonald. McDonald over the line trying to beat Corvo and move in. Can't do it. Bednesh with it. Right back comes Manchester. 2-man attack for the moment. Now looking for the trailer. Aldous. That didn't work. And trying to set him up was Chartrand. Chartrand battles in the corner. Healy also there. Rosinski, Keeler for Lowell. Along the boards. Kept in by Manchester. And they're preventing Lowell from busting out and getting an attack going. This flip down by Keeler is icing.
Well, in case you didn't know, but if you take the sights and sound of New England, add a dash of humor, a twist of fate, and a little seasoning, then stir, you've got Chowder. It's AT&T 3's Entertainment Magazine show. Tune in on Tuesdays at 7:30, Saturdays at 5, and Sundays at 8 p.m. only on AT&T 3, and that is wicked cool TV.
Well, a big factor. Only 3 shots by Lowell in this, the 3rd period, as they've trailed in the game all the way. Well, that's good, trying to move it out, but that's been strong defense by Manchester Monarchs. The Monarchs have 6 shots, just 3 for Lowell. 7:19 left in the 3rd period.
Well, there's something that's a factor now in the game, Fred, is that clock is working for the Monarchs, and it's working against the Lock Monsters. And one of the things the Monarchs, you've got a 2-goal lead. You do not have to rush the puck up the ice. You can be a little bit more deliberate in coming up the ice in order to get it into the Lock Monster end. On the other end, the Lock Monsters are going to have to, they're down 2 goals. They're going to have to gamble more. They're going to have to push the puck up the ice, move it up a little bit quicker, and try and spend as much time as they can in the Monarch zone. So the clock becomes a factor now late here in the 3rd period.
Well, it's been an uphill battle for Lowell, a powerful team in the American Hockey League, second best record going into tonight's action. And they've had a great offense as we look at the shots right there. 38-28 for Manchester, and that is a surprise.
And real positive for Manchester, because even in the third period, with the lead, they're out shooting the Lock Monsters 6-3.
That's good with it. For Lowell, trying to set a play over the line, stopped by Corbo, just gets it out of the zone. Well, it's back for Harmer in the Lowell end, trying to move it out, can't do it. Smithson kept it in, couldn't control it. Schmidt does, moves it to the corner, now trying to set a play as Miller sets up in front. Goretzka with it for Lowell. Up to McNeil. McNeil with Felsner. Move it on the left wing side. Felsner goes in deep, gets it, centers it, and it is knocked away, but not out of the zone. It is kept in deep on the centering play, but Lysak can't get it in front. Ron Smith trying different combinations for Lowell to get it cranked up with time running out. 6:28 left in the third period. 3-1 Manchester. Center ice, Chelios drives it in on the left wing boards. Scott makes the play with it. And Lowell can't get a shot in front or even deep from the blue line area. In the center ice, Seeley with it for Manchester. He's broken up by Defoe, who may break in. Can't get control. Stopped by our big defensive play as Defoe tried to bust in on the right wing side. He's been a goal scorer. And Bednash gets it now to Becker. Shot, tough angle shot by Bednash. Bednash keep possession. Circles in the zone. Tries to drive one on net. It deflects to the corner. Behind the net, Brzezinski winding up for Lowell. Lock Monsters on the attack. Brzezinski shaken up as Seeley hit him. And Manchester in front by a score of 3-1. And the face-off coming up outside the Manchester blue line. 5:34 left here in the third period. 3-1 Manchester in front. 7 shots to 3 for Manchester in the third period. Auer taps it in deep. Osmick sends it away, and up on the right wing side, Ritchie with that speed over the line, cuts across in front, tries to move in, was spilled on the play. They let it go. He got a shot away, but not much steam on it because he was taken down. And the puck kept in the zone by Healy, now controlled by Lowell, trying to move out on the right side. Kirker, doesn't work. Back deep for it goes Harmer. Harmer around for Keeler. Keeler gets it out, but Jackson stops the play. Smithson on it too. Well, the puck is taken by Keeler. Keeler trying to go up the right wing board, stopped by Public of Manchester. A break in the center ice by Corbo, who scored the first goal of the game. And he drills that one, and it goes wide. Had plenty of speed on that rush by Joe Corbo. And deep, Goretzka trying to get it. Chelios takes down a man. He's going. And a power play for Manchester with 4:21 left here in the third period.
Now Chelios heading to the penalty box, putting a hook on the forward. And it was number 25, Jared Smithson, right beside the net, right in front of the official. And that's going to take up half of what's left. 4:21, 2-minute power play for the Monarchs. Chelios taking a tripping penalty. Not a good sign. Going to put a lot of pressure on his teammates now if they have hopes of tying this game. Joe Corvo coming through the neutral zone, a lot of speed. Got a lot of wood on that slapper.
On the draw, Hudson trying to move it out. Stop. Auer with it. Right point. Shot wide. Quick wish shot. McDonald able to jam it out of the zone. McNeil going for it. Auer after him. McNeil moves it around behind the net. Still battling for it on the boards. And Auer takes possession for Manchester. Fed back in by Becker. Looking. Pass on the right side. It goes to Auer, and he can't control it at the point. Winding up his shot, Tran scored a big goal, short-handed, to make it 3-1. It took a lot of steam out of Lowell on that one. power play, and Chartrand nullified it with that terrific shot. He works it free for Howard now. Hudlick, Chartrand tried that shot again, but this one missed.
Well, 720-somethings chosen for their spontaneity and diversity are forced to live together. You'll get to see all their unscripted and totally entertaining interactions Monday through Friday at 5 and 11 only on AT&T 3, and that is Wicked Cool TV.
It's been an uphill battle for the Lowell Lock Monsters here as they dedicate the arena along with the Manchester Monarchs. And Manchester with the great crowd support, 10,000. They started right from the national anthem on. Fired up the team, and they lead now 3-1. 3 minutes left in regulation. Corvo to center ice. The flip in. Puck loose. And knocked away from Riva. On the power play, 30 seconds left. Corvo flips it off for Our plenty of speed. Over the line for Riva. Riva trying to put it on net, missed. From a tough angle, kept in. Back for Corvo, shot over the net. With Moss down. Goretzka trying to get it free. Gets it up for Zigomanis. Possible 3-on-2. Zigomanis rushing. Svoboda. And the drive missed. The pass missed by Palmer following up on the play. He was set up by Zigomanis. A 3-on-2 for Lowell on that occasion, just as the power play was up. 2 minutes left in regulation. 3-1 the lead. A break up by Keeler. Steals inside. Moves it to the far. Can't collect it in front of the net. Good play by Keeler on that one. And this is icing against Manchester now with 1:51 left in regulation.
This cablecast is authorized by AT&T 3 and the Manchester Monarchs solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any broadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of AT&T 3 and the Manchester Monarchs is prohibited.
Just 4 shots by Lowell in this third period. It's been a key factor along with that Chartrand goal shorthanded. And we have 1:48 left in the third. The total shots are 41-29 for Manchester Monarchs. They've had to play this third period without Kelly. There's a regular at center on the second line behind Chartrand. Indeed, kept in by Ritchie for Keeler. Keeler trying to put it in front for the breaking defenseman. It doesn't work. And out of the net is Moss. 1:14 left. Extra attacker on. Puck across. Ritchie looking for it in front of the net. Can't get it. Felsner can't get a handle to it. And it's driven out of the zone all the way down, but not icing as Keeler gets it. Drives it right up. Nobody in the nets. Moss is out. 54 seconds left. Harima trying to move in. Can't do it. A break here on the left side. And a great play by Chelios as he stopped Healy, who was looking at an open net. 38 seconds left. It's up for Ritchie. Ritchie hammers it in wide. Going for it to fall in the corner. Harima. Keeler. The pass in front blocked. And the bid for the open net misses, and this is icing. We're down to 22 seconds with Manchester leading 3-1.
Well, Lock Monsters trying to put the pressure on, but the Monarchs not falling for it, except Scott Thomas thought he had the open net. His aim was a little bit off, and we're going to have an icing call bringing the face-off back in to the Monarchs zone. You have to credit the Monarchs for playing a real superb third period, for showing a lot of the poise and patience and determination. We're going to have a timeout here right now, and it's going to be called by the Monarchs. I think it's a good call by Bruce Boudreau. The play was going up and back and up, and now let's say, okay, let's enjoy this. We got a 2-goal lead. let's have a timeout, regroup, make sure that we finish the game the right way. There's Bruce Boudreau at the other end. You look at Ron Smith, and on the left, on the right, Tommy Rowe, the general manager and assistant coach, and they're not even really working on a play, to try and generate a quick goal off this faceoff. So I think they're just going to let the Monarchs take this one. A good opening night win here in Manchester.
And a couple of earlier meetings, it was Lowell victorious with their exciting up-tempo play, but they've been contained in this third period. But of course, the sellout crowd, the enthusiasm, the adrenaline flowing, that had a lot to do with it for Manchester.
Well, it's been a great night for the Monarchs. The problem for Bruce Boudreau is to keep this enthusiasm, and even though they've been on the road for 13 games, they have to leave tonight after the game and play in Quebec, and Quebec is one of the stronger teams in the league.
And they win the faceoff, get it out to Schmidt at center ice for Manchester. We're down to 14 seconds left. McDonald rushing, broken up on a sweep check by Schmidt. And Lowell can't get the attack going. This one just missed as Howard drilled it down. Goes to center ice. That's it. The game is over. 41 shots to 29 for Manchester. And the crowd goes wild again in a salute to the Manchester Monarchs. Their home debut at the brand new, spanking new Verizon Arena. And
they got the playoff towels out, Fred. The playoff towels are out here in Manchester on the opening night of this historic building, and that's a wonderful tribute to the players who gave the fans such a great performance here.
Well, the fans came out with all this enthusiasm, despite the record of the Manchester team. They had to play 13 games on the road and suffered some heartbreaking losses. But this one was a huge victory for them. They took an early lead, and it was closed by Ritchie's power play goal. But it was Monarchs prevailing. The final score, the Manchester Monarchs 3 and the Lowell Lock Monsters 1. Well, Manchester scored early. Corvo at 1:02 of the first period, and they just took it from there.
Well, they came out and started. They had the opening ceremonies. Generally, teams that have opening ceremonies before a game do not win, but not in this case tonight, as the Manchester Monarchs played their hearts out in front of a full stadium here in Manchester. And Joe Corvo got off to a great start, getting that first goal. There was a little redirect by a Lock Monster defenseman, but he played an outstanding game. Eric Healy came down, made 2 or 3 efforts in front of that net, and then chipped one by Tyler Moss. Lowell did bounce back with Ritchie getting a nice goal on a slapper that Travis Scott did not see. And then lastly, Brad Chartrand goes upstairs, a glove side on Tyler Moss, and just a beautiful goal and a beautiful shot by Brad Chartrand.
Really, both goaltenders played very well because there were a lot of scoring opportunities.
Well, we're looking now at the shots, and they were like 41 for the Manchester to 28 shots for Lowell. So there was a lot of action out there, a lot of action around the nets, and both goaltenders did play pretty good.
And then Manchester lost Kelly there at the start of the third period. He was a key man, second-line center, as you rate him, and yet they played very well in the third period.
That way, it was a bad loss because you move a guy out of the roster who you count on, but it was an inspirational loss, and he got an extra. He got 2 for getting into the fight, 5 for the fight. He got a 10-minute misconduct for having his tie down not tied up and his sweater coming over his head. And then, you got to look at that as very inspirational, that on the physical end that the Manchester Monarchs, he held their pride up there.
And now the number 1 star, Brad Chartrand, Dick Lutz.
Hi, Fred. Thank you very much. We had Brad on between the first and second period, and at the end of the first period, he had been on the ice during a shorthanded situation and drew a penalty, which was key at the time. And in the third period, while shorthanded, scored a goal. And those special teams are very important during the course of the game.
Well, they sure are. We've been maybe struggling a little bit on the penalty kill, and it's been something that's been mentioned before the game in our meetings. They want to do a good job on, and Unfortunately, we're taking a little too many penalties that we'd liked, but it was great to get that opportunity, and we did a great job. Chris Schmidt did a great job.
Well, let's watch it, and we'll watch you score your shorthanded goal that was a key insurance tally for the Manchester Monarchs.
Just before that, Chris Schmidt did a great play, kind of poke-checked the guy, and, you can't pass up those kind of shooting opportunities. I didn't want to try to do anything fancy, just get it on net, and, found the spot.
We talked about the excitement in the crowd with the noise when Corbo scored that first goal, and it was an adrenaline rush for everybody on the ice. How about when you score one yourself and you hear that big roar?
Wow, the first thing I said is, I'm glad that I scored. We got the team a 2-goal advantage because we've been having some trouble, in the third period, holding on to leads. So, I was just part of the whole team equation out there tonight. I was the guy, who was the goal scorer, I guess, in that third period, but the team has to be given the most credit tonight for our win.
10,000 people in the stands. The seventh player certainly helped out the Monarchs tonight.
Hopefully the crowd keeps as loud as they were tonight. I know that this city is behind our team just by talking with people at the malls. I was at having a meal, this afternoon for pregame, and you guys Monarchs? Oh wow, I'd love to go to the game. It's just there's a buzz in town, and can't wait to play on Sunday here.
Buzz as well at the arena tonight as the Manchester Monarchs beat the Lowell Lock Monsters 3-1. Brad Chartrand, the #1 star in the game. We send it back upstairs to our Hall of Fame broadcasting duo of Fred Cusick and Brad Park.
Well, thank you, Dick, and this is going to be a great rivalry. It is already.
Well, if I was Lowell, I'd be a little upset leaving here, and that they're going to go back there and play their hearts out. And you've got two cities not too far apart, but far enough that they're not going to get along. And I think that the Manchester came off with a big win tonight in their debut here, and if the fans stay with them, they're going to be a very positive franchise.
Final score: 3-1 for Manchester over Lowell.
Thank you.